Hey everyone, Barryz here. So it seems you all really wanted the Q&A videos to return, so I thought I'd oblige and make another one, and seeing how my last Q&A was almost a year ago, oh my gosh, I was less stringent on covering some familiar questions. However, now with more information than I had back then. So, let's begin. Our first question of the day comes from Zorg712, who asks, what is the ideal dream Transformers game for you, and how can Reactivate help the Transformers franchise? So this is really two questions in one, but to answer the first question, my ideal dream Transformers game would absolutely be a straight-up Fall of Cybertron sequel, with a linear story, basic third-person shooting mechanics, attacked on multiplayer mode with a handful of maps, and what I'd really try to sell the game on is really making it feel like you're playing through the 1986 movie, complete with Optimus' death, Rodimus Prime, Galvatron, Unicron, Earth, and the such. If you want a much more in-depth look of what a Fall of Cybertron sequel could be like, I'd suggest you look at my friend Brushed Ranger's video series covering his proposed Fall of Cybertron sequel. The second part of this question is much more complicated. How will Transformers Reactivate help the Transformers franchise? Well, in simple terms, a proper new Transformers game that isn't a mobile game port is just a simple win for the Transformers franchise, but it goes a bit farther than that. You see, Transformers has been very child-friendly, very clean, very safe over the last few years, and Reactivate is really the first thing that has pushed back into the darkness of the early 2010s Transformers. Reactivate is not only a different style of Transformers that we haven't gotten in over 10 years, it's also offering a space within the live service game sphere, which, considering that Destiny just ended, Suicide Squad died before it even came out, and Warframe is about as alive as George Washington's exhumed corpse, Reactivate effectively has no competition. Our next question comes from Ronin Cinema Gaming, who asks, question, do you think Transformers Reactivate will be a badass open world game, and do you think that they should add a PvP mode later on down the line? Also have a storyline to it or something? So Reactivate has a similar take to open world that Destiny has, with large open spaces where the player will be able to roam and kill enemies, while missions take place within designated areas within these locations. I feel like if Reactivate has a fun and rewarding public event system that players can work together in the open world, then it can be pretty fun. But what I'd personally like to see is a type of event where the Legion locks down an area in a location, and multiple players need to take it back and maybe defeat a named boss. I feel like it would really help to keep the open world from feeling like a tacked-on addition that only gets in the way of the main story missions. As for whether Reactivate should have a PvP mode, absolutely. However, I want them to do it the right way. TF Reaper is a big proponent of the idea of a kind of division-like PvPvE area within Reactivate, which, while cool, I also feel like the budget of the game needs to be considered. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 just launched with a classic-style, low-budget PvP arena, which I feel would be perfect for Reactivate. Something similar to the Crucible from Destiny, or even just classic Halo, would work really well in Reactivate, and especially bringing back classic game modes like Team Deathmatch and Headhunter would be amazing. As for the storyline, I can confirm that Reactivate will have a storyline, and it will definitely be better than any Transformers story that has been told over the last 10 years. To avoid accidentally leaking any story spoilers, I'm going to move on to the next question. So, our friend Eli02Q asks, question for your Q&A, will Shockwave be in Reactivate? The short answer is yes, Shockwave will be in Reactivate. But I want to use this question to answer a broader question that many new people might not have the answer to. I am now going to list off every confirmed character that will be playable in Transformers Reactivate. Optimus Prime, Megatron, Bumblebee, Starscream, Ironhide, Soundwave, Ratchet, Shockwave, Sunstreaker, Slipstream, Hot Rod, Laserbeak, Powerglide, Ravage, Windblade, Rumble, Perceptor, Knockout, Wheeljack, Frenzy, Cliffjumper, Divebomb, Alita 1, Grimlock, and RC. Now, this is by no means the complete character roster. Splash Damage has absolutely been making more and more characters to play, and it's looking like the biggest Transformers cast that we've ever seen in a video game. If War for Cybertron felt like a war, then Reactivate will feel like a world war with all the unique playable characters in it. Our fourth question comes from PrimeAlp09L, who asks, question for your Q&A video. Can you confirm any TFP VAs for Splash Damage's build of the game? So this is an interesting question, because there's been a lot of speculation on the voice cast for Reactivate. So far I can confirm that Starscream shares a voice with his prime actor, along with Shockwave, Ratchet, and presumably numerous other characters. Now I want to quickly talk about Optimus Prime's voice actor, because a lot of people recently have been disappointed thinking that John Bailey will be voicing Optimus Prime in the final game, and I can thankfully confirm that this is untrue, and Optimus Prime will be voiced by the beloved Peter Cullen. However, considering the game's live service nature, I wouldn't be surprised if John Bailey is brought in to voice Optimus in post-launch content, sort of in a similar way to Keith David taking on the role of Zavala in Destiny after Lance Reddick's unfortunate passing. His voice is only different in the final shape, and Lance retains the role in previously created content. Our final question comes from my friend Brushed Ranger. If you could add one Transformers to Reactivate, who would it be? How did you get the name Barryz? And when TFR does come out, what do you think you'll be playing the most, game mode wise? And lastly, how was your day? Alright, so there's a lot of questions within this comment, but I'll do my best to answer all of them. Firstly, if I could add one character to Reactivate, I would probably have to choose Blitzwing. I feel like his alt modes would look so cool in the Reactivate art style. I'm imagining a bulky jet mode with metal plates welded onto it, a tank with pieces of debris and barbed wire adorning it, and his robot mode would be able to combine the two vehicles and create a truly unique looking robot mode. As for gameplay purposes, I'd probably have his tank mode be his ultimate ability, able to be used in both robot and jet mode. Next, how did I get the name Barryz? Good question. Well, I used to be Teg Barryz, a name I made for myself well over 6 years ago now, and I do not remember why my name was that, but it just kinda stuck. And when TFR does eventually release in the year of our Lord, Jakob, 6027, I will probably be spending most of my time grinding out the tower escalation mode, provided it offers good loot, that is. And lastly, how was my day? Pretty good, considering I'm not the man in the chair. So, that's been the Transformers Reactivate Q&A 3. It's so great to be making more videos and engaging with you all, and thank you all so much for the questions in the comments and support over the last couple weeks. I'm always really nervous to ask for Q&A questions because I always wonder if anyone will comment, but you guys not only ask questions, but you ask good questions, which really make me reflect on what my opinions are on Transformers Reactivate. There will absolutely be more Reactivate and of course Lore for Cybertron videos in the future, and I'm super excited for whatever Reactivate news comes next. Till all are one.